Alright, so with the bird being able to be infinitely farmed now, I had of course the ability to farm every single relic. I've already done that like a few days ago. But this is, I think, the fastest team to beat the bird right now. This run I have recorded here, from clicking to start the stage to, getting the rewards from stage 3, the whole process took 12 minutes. So this is like an average run for this team. I could have had better card RNG. Like, I could have sit here and just banged out like runs until I got like one like under like 11 minutes or something, but I just got one run and I was like, okay, that's good enough, because it's just the average, I think, is what matters more than like the perfect run when it comes to like farming something, because most of the time the average is what's going to happen. You're going to have runs that are completely terrible. This is not one of those. If you get a run that's completely terrible, it's going to take maybe like even upwards to like 15 minutes. That's like worst case scenario for a team like this. And you have runs that could take even 11 minutes or under, but that's like again an outlier. So this is like an average 12 to 13 minutes. For the most part, I actually did not use this team for consistency. I have been using Matrona, the one Megalda and Meliodas. Matrona's taunt and buff removal ends up being very good in case you get very unlucky on cards. Because the thing is that Green Arthur's damage increase is pretty nice, but when you start pulling like non-stop cards for him, it gets very annoying. So although I would say that this team is a tad bit faster than using Matrona, it's like it's more often that you have those terrible runs than with Matrona, because Matrona's card is actually useful. But in general, they're both very good. Obviously, you can't go wrong with Miguel de Meliodas. I've seen a lot of people, using Kusok and stuff for fast runs. That's probably also as good as using the one. I just much prefer the one. The one's ultimate is just straight up better. Except for phase 4 of the that's like the only time where the one's ultimate is just not as good, and that's it. Outside of that, like every single other case scenario, the one's ultimate is better. And then the attacks are just better. You don't need to you don't need to remove ultimate gauge on the bird if you're just going for just going as fast as you can. So that card is just pointless, because the level 1 of that card just hits super light. But it's just basically just as good. It's just that also, for Kusok, that could have shaved a few seconds right there if I actually had crit the second hit. But Meliodas is an interesting character. He crits when he feels like it. Now Kusok is just basically just as good, but I do think that the one's card is better. Because I have been testing quite a bit of like teams that I've seen out there, saying, "Oh, this is the fastest team. This is the fastest team." To me, I don't even know how many runs, man. And I'm still doing it. Like, after I have farmed every single relic, I'm still farming the stage because they're going to release more, right? So it's like, I'm still doing it. And my most consistent team for speed farming has been either this or replacing Arthur with Matrona. But for, like, consistent runs, I feel like for most people, you should replace the one with Matrona, because it's just so like mind-numbing how strong it is to have the damage reduction from Meliodas and from Arthur at the same time. It's just nutty. And you have Matrona for heal, it just goes crazy, right? But in terms of like how fast that is, it's not as fast, obviously, because you're lacking a DPS there. But it's just as good. So here, the one thing I would say that, using Matrona for me is better in terms of consistency is here. On the second stage, you need to have the one ultimate for the second phase. And if you get like super cocked, it may take you a few turns of just trying to get the one card so you can push an ultimate and maybe not even getting it. That's the only thing. But I still like it for terms of like, when I was like banging like 20 runs in a row, which I'm not doing anymore, obviously. Like, when I was just banging like 15, 20 runs in a row of going to like from stage 1 to 3, non-stop, this team felt like got the job done faster than with Matrona. As an average, even though, like I said, it is more consistent to use Matrona because you're not getting run into like those situations where you have like pointless cards. It is how it is, you know. This with the damage increase, and of course these powerful characters and the damage reduction, you're basically a god in this stage. So yeah, if you I mean, if you don't have Matronin, but you have the other characters, like you don't need the 166. Like you don't need any of these characters 6/6 at all. You need them to be strong. Obviously, you need like UR gear. You need the characters to be invested on, which is the biggest thing, right? But in terms of ultimate level, like Miguel does basically damage cap with 1/6. And then the one, apart from phase 2, and even at phase 2, like you just need the second hit. The reason why the one works so well, and so does Kusok, is because of the second hit, because in phase 2 there, you need to do like 5 hits to kill the boss, or to kill the phase. And you can't do that, you know, normally. But with the 1 or Kusok, you can. 1/6, the 1 is more than enough to beat it, you know? So if you don't have Matrona, this is... But you still want to like farm the stage, this is very good. Although again, if you have Matrona, I would say replace Arthur, put Matrona there. But this is it. And I mean, we're definitely getting characters. Next week, we're definitely getting Holy War Festival. We're definitely getting characters that will be very good for at least the new Demonic Beast battle. I wonder if the new character will be good for this one. I'm thinking the next festival character, and if you're watching this after the next festival character comes out, maybe it will... I'll sound stupid for even like, you know, theorizing, but I'm thinking it will be an Elizabeth with passive healing that will count as every attribute, so that she works really well against the other boss. So I don't know how good that would be against this boss. I mean, obviously Matrona works really well, and so a passive healer would work really well. But one thing about Matrona as well is like she has buff removal, she has the taunt, which works well as well. So I don't know, but I am curious to see what comes next, because every single festival that has come out after the bird has been good for it, right? Kusok, but did Kusok come out first or after? Wait, I think I'm getting it mixed up. Did he come out? I think he came out before, because the bird came out with what's her face, Brynhilder and Deanne, right? Kusok came out before. Sorry, but even like thinking, you know, Margaret and Kusok are good for the stage, and they came out just before it, right? Ban, to an extent, is also very good for the healing and stuff like that. So festival characters have been really good for the stage, and then Galfer, I would say, is the one that isn't that great for it. It is usable, but not good. But King and Meliodas are two fantastic characters for the bird, right? So I'm thinking, you know, they are definitely gearing the new festival characters to be good for this PvE stage that they created, that they know is super hard, right? Especially for... Still, the bird is still very hard for a great majority of the player base that doesn't play the game very seriously, right? Because, I mean, you can say, oh yeah, you know, if you're free to play, you can beat it. That's just simply untrue. Simply untrue. If you're free to play and you can't beat it, it's not because you're free to play, it's because you just don't play the game enough. And that's fine. That is, I think that's fine. You know, because you can see like a lot of free to play players that are currently farming the stage because they have the characters, you know, worked on. They have, you know, stuff like that. They play the game more seriously and, you know, more often. But I think that, you know, they know that there is a part of the player base that doesn't play the game all that often that can't beat the stage, right? So they definitely need to create new characters to make it easier as time goes on, because Holy Relics, they will get outdated, right? So they need to allow players to get them before they become outdated, right? Because as time goes on, the Ban Holy Relic is getting outdated. the Lilia relic is super predominant right now, but it will get outdated. I don't know when, because that holy relic is good. But, you know, as time goes on, everything gets outdated. Melios will get outdated. You know, the one is grasping. he's thinking, I'm never gonna get outdated. Oh, so sad here. I thought Melee was gonna kill, but I ended up losing ultimate gauge because he didn't. Very sad. But yeah, the one is like holding on to his relevancy. It's crazy, but every unit gets outdated, right? And everything in the game gets outdated. So you know, these current holy relics will be outdated, meaning that future holy relics will be stronger. So, you know, they need to let people use the current relics before they become outdated, so they can have some play with it, you know? So you definitely want to make characters that are good for the activity, obviously. But again, I am thinking that a new goddess festival, which, you know, it has been, you know, sort of leaked the lids, would be good for a new stage. Would make more sense. I would have beaten this faster if I didn't mess it up on the... Oh no, I actually kill here. Oh no, it would have been 11 minutes and a half if instead of doing the AoE, or if my AoE had killed on that second phase and I wouldn't have lost ultimate gauge, I actually would have killed right here already 30 seconds, minus 30 seconds from the time it took me. So I'll call this a 11 minutes and 30 second run. But yeah, this is fast. I mean, if you're gonna bang on like, I don't know, 5-10 runs in a row, and you don't want to feel like you're taking too long, you don't want to feel like burnt out from playing the game, this combo is nutty. Absolutely nutty.